Hey guys, welcome back to the Sim Twins. My name is Brooke and today we are doing another speed build. So this speed build is for a family of 8, so it's a pretty big house. And I haven't done like a big family home in a while, so I was excited to do this build. I did part of this build on a Twitch stream last week and I finished it up later, so it's very exciting to get to see the whole house to completion. But this house is suitable for 8 Sims, so it's, in my mind, it's for 2 parents, 2 grandparents, and 4 children, or it could be 3 children and a pet. So it really is suitable for a large family, and I really like the fact that I also was able to include a space for the grandparents, just because in my gameplay, I like for the grandparents to live in the home still and to continue to be part of the family even after the new generation has kind of like taken over. And this, because it's such a big build, it's quite a long video. So I asked on Twitter and I asked in the Discord server, which you can join that Discord server if you're interested. The link will be in the description below. But I asked over there some questions, so I'm going to answer those throughout and also just talk a little bit more about myself, because I really feel like I haven't introduced myself properly to everyone, or if I have, it's been a while, and so I'm going to like reintroduce myself to all of you new people out there. And if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so then you know every time we post a new video. So let's jump right in. So basically what I was doing with this build at the beginning was I tried to do a 1-hour challenge where I built an 8 sim home in 1 hour, but I did not complete it. I think by the end of the 1 hour, I had done like the whole shell, as you see, and I had done a lot of the roofing and that kind of stuff, but it took me a really long time to figure out what layout I wanted to go with, and the layout I went with was actually very traditional. So when you go into the front of the home, you have your staircase, and then to one side, you have a study that could be turned into another bedroom, and you have a formal dining room that leads into the kitchen. So it really is like a very formal style home, and I really like it. I thought it turned out really well. The roofing is a little questionable, but I'm still working on becoming a better roofer, and I thought that it would be fun to do this build because it would really challenge me to hone my building skills in a way that I usually don't do, because I don't really do like a lot of traditional homes. I feel like I do a lot more like modern stuff, so I'm much better with like clean lines and that kind of stuff. So doing like this, I felt was like a very traditional suburban looking home, but it was really fun to hone my craft and try to do a different style build. But anyway, I just wanted to introduce myself a little bit more to y'all as we watch this speed build. So again, my name is Brooke. I am one half of the Sim Twins. Yes, we are real twins. A lot of people were asking us that. They're like, are you really twins? And the answer is 100% yes. I'm not lying about being a twin. I have a twin sister, and we do this channel together. You've heard her do a lot of other videos. I mean, a lot of people say that we have very similar sounding voices, so I guess I can understand if people think that we're the same person, but we're not. I promise you. And I am much more into building than she is in The Sims. She is really good at doing Create a Sim and that kind of stuff, but I'm more of a builder, and I don't really do that much gameplay myself, honestly. When I was doing gameplay, I had to kind of like force myself to do the gameplay almost by doing a legacy challenge. And the legacy challenge really helped me out because it gave me objectives. And I think a lot of times when I play with The Sims, I need like that objective. I need an objective to really like tell me what I should do with my Sims, because I'm just not like the greatest at making up stories for them, even though like I am a writer, so it should be easy for me, but for some reason, telling stories in The Sim has never been my forte, so it's much easier for me to like craft a family around like a legacy challenge or something like that. But anyway, I have been playing The Sims now for about 11 or 12 years. I've been playing since The Sims 2, so it's definitely been a while. And I have loved The Sims ever since the original one came out. And I saw my older cousin playing it on his like Windows 98 computer or some like really old computer like that. And I just remember being very enthralled by it. But I remember also that like one time my mom got us she got us an expansion pack for The Sims 2, but we didn't have at that time the base game, and we didn't know that like in order to play an expansion pack you needed the base game of The Sims. So like she bought it for us, and then we never got to play it because we never had the Sims 2 base game. So we ended up not really starting our Sims playing until probably a couple of years after, once we understood and figured out what is going on with like Sims packs and base game and that kind of stuff. So it was just really interesting that like I could have been starting to play The Sims like about 2 or 3 years earlier if it hadn't been for the fact that we just did not understand how the system worked. But I mean, once we played The Sims 2, like I was hooked. I loved building in The Sims 2. Was it easy to build in The Sims 2? Definitely not as easy as it is to build in The Sims 4. And like one of the things that, because I played The Sims 2 last week on the stream just for like a throwback Thursday kind of gaming, and it was really fun to do that. And I realized like how difficult of a system it was to build in The Sims 2. And honestly, it was difficult to build in The Sims 3 as well. And I feel like, since The Sims 4 has been out now for at least 6 years at this point, like a lot of people have gotten very used to building in The Sims 4 and the ease of the drag and drop system and that kind of stuff and copying over whole rooms and everything. But I just remember like playing with The Sims 3, and like if you put a wall down, like you had to delete that wall. You couldn't just like drag and drop and move that wall somewhere else. You had to completely delete it and restart. So I'm very appreciative of The Sims for game mechanics when it comes to building, because it just made it so much easier to become a builder and to become a good builder quickly. Because I know that there are a lot of people who became great builders on The Sims 3, and there were a lot of big YouTubers back then that were small when Sims 3 was around, but I loved watching their stuff, and they were able to build so many amazing things in The Sims 3 that I was not able to do when I was playing The Sims 3. Like I tried, but it was just so hard. And so moving to the Sims 4 system just made it a lot easier for me to build the things that I had in my brain, because of the fact that the Sims 4 system is a lot more forgiving. And if you want to make a room bigger or if you want to make it smaller, and moving around things is so much easier in the Sims 4 than in the Sims 3, where you just have to completely bulldoze something and restart. But anyway, let's go into some of the questions that I was asked over on the Discord. Again, if you want to join our Discord, it's a really fun place where we hang out with everybody online and we talk about The Sims. We also talk about other video games such as Animal Crossing and Pokemon, and we talk about other fandoms, anime, etc. So if you're interested in that, there is a link in the description below so you can join us over on our Discord. But anyway, the first question that I had is, what is my favorite part of building? So my favorite part of building is probably being able to do interiors. I really love doing interiors just because I am a huge fan of HGTV and design shows like that. And I really love being able to create really beautiful, inspired homes. And I think the thing that makes a home is when you go in and you give it your own personality by what you put in the build, that kind of stuff. Like, how do you change the flooring? How do you do all those colors? Because as we've seen with a lot of people who do shell builds, is that a house, like a house floor plan, can be completely different based on how people go in and change it from an interior standpoint. So you can take a shell and pretty much make it whatever you want. People have made shells into cities. People have made shells into aquariums. They've done a lot of different things with the same shell. And so that really speaks to how interiors really change what a build looks like. And it's not just about like what it looks like from the outside. It's really what you make of it on the inside. So that's why I really like doing interiors, because that is really where you get to see the personality of the house. Like if someone were to come to take this house off of the gallery and to do a remodeling of it, or like taking down all of the walls and like putting in a new floor plan, or even just kind of making this into a shell challenge in itself, like you would get so many different iterations of this one build. And I think that's really, really awesome that you have that many different iterations, and it's still the same shell on the outside, but it is so different on the inside. So I really like that about doing interiors. And so the next question is, which of the packs that you have is your favorite? So I would say that my favorite pack is definitely Island Living. I love Island Living so much, but just because I was a really big fan of The Sims 3 Island Paradise. I never even had The Sims 3 Island Paradise, but I still really loved that world. And I know that a lot of people don't like the Island Living pack because they think that it's not fully fleshed out. And I do agree to an extent that the gameplay is not as good as it could have been. It could have been worked on so that it was a little more robust, especially when it came to offering an off-the-grid kind of system and the ability to change the world around you in Sulani by cleaning up the world. And so I think a lot of people were upset that the gameplay wasn't as fleshed out as it could have been. But I honestly think that everything else about that pack is really wonderful. I love the build and buy items, and the cast items are really awesome. I just love that style of, beachy theme, and it's just really pretty. Everything looks so nice, and it's definitely my style. I really am a big fan of that pack. And I would also say that another one of my packs that I really enjoy is Parenthood, and that one is because of the gameplay, because there's so much that it adds to in terms of how you play with your families, and the build buy items are really good in it as well. But especially when it comes to gameplay, Parenthood is a must-have pack if you are a person who likes to play with your families and create dynamic family interactions and doing different things like that. So I would say that those two packs are definitely top of the list for me. And do I have a style that I build in the most? So I would say that I don't have a specific style that I kind of go with every time. I kind of just like mix it up. And if you watch the videos on this channel of the speed builds that I do, like a lot of them are very, I would say, disparate in the styling. I think it really depends on what I'm thinking about building. So really, rather than having like a specific style of home that I build, it's more specifically what kind of story am I trying to tell in that moment. And I think that's what makes my builds like different from each other and really fun to do a new build each time, because I really am thinking more about how is this build going to fit in with what I'm thinking about. So like when I did the ice cream truck build, that was really fun. Well, it was more of an ice cream trailer, really. I tried to make it into a truck, but putting it on top of one of the Sims 4 trucks just didn't work out. And that was really sad because the trucks were just too small, and like making them bigger, it didn't work out. But it's okay, because I thought that the trailer idea was really fun, and it still worked out, and I got my ice cream truck. But so like coming up with like different themes really is what I do when it comes to building. And so when I have a theme in mind, then I kind of pick the style of house that goes along with that theme. But I will say that a lot of times the houses that I create are probably more craftsman-like in style, if you were to look at them from a styling standpoint like that, just because of the fact that a lot of times I will use a lot of Seasons, and Seasons has so much craftsman style stuff in that pack, from the way that the windows look to the different not roof options, different swatches for the walls and that kind of stuff. Like, it gives you a very craftsman like vibe from it. So that's probably like my go-to style, just because I really use Seasons a lot when it comes to building, just because of the wonderful amount of things that they have within the build and buy of Seasons. And so that's probably what I would say is like a go-to style when it comes to like a specific house style that I am doing. And so the next question that I have is, what is my favorite world to build in? Okay, so my favorite world to build in, I would say that I really enjoy building in Sulani. Again, like I said earlier, I am a huge island living fan, and I just really love the world and the build and buy objects. Everything just looks so cool. But I think the reason why I like building in Sulani is because you can build the type of homes that wouldn't fit in the rest of the Sims 4 worlds. You can go in and you can create these bungalow styles and beach houses, and you can add in a bunch of different features that you wouldn't necessarily want to put in like Windenburg or in Willow Creek, because it just wouldn't fit. But it's been really cool that in Sulani you can basically build over the water pretty much, and have those docks going out and have your home be on stilts, and I really love that. So I would say that Sulani is definitely my favorite place to build, just because of how beautiful the world is. Everything's so gorgeous about that world, from the lighting in it with the sunset, and just like overall, I think that pack is really gorgeous, and I will probably continue to sing the praises of it until you guys get very bored of me saying the same things over and over again. So let's go back and start talking about the build, because that's all the questions that I had. But if you want me to answer any more questions in a speed build like I did, or if you liked this, please put a comment down below and let me know what questions you would like me to answer for another speed build, or if you liked this format, or if you want me to talk more about the build and maybe more about my build process as I go throughout. Please let me know in the comments. I love to read your comments, and I respond to each of them specifically when I get comments on my videos. So know that I am reading all of those, and I am so happy that you guys are very receptive to a lot of the stuff that I've been doing. But let's go back and talk about this build. So this room right now that I'm working on is one of the children's room. And so when I thought about this family, I thought about them having 4 children, 1 teen, 2 children, and a toddler. So this one is for the younger child, I would say. And so this child is really into animals, and they want to be a vet when they grow up. And so I gave them a lot of stuff that would be fun for for a kid this age who really likes to be, who's really into animals. So I gave them some sticker decals from Cats and Dogs, and I gave them a lot of cute blue furniture. Both of the children's rooms, I realized after the fact that they're both blue themed, and I didn't plan on that. And the teen room is actually very different. It's a lot darker, but I think it turned out really well. But the second kid, I thought they were probably more I thought that they were older, so they were probably more into like gaming or into movies and that kind of stuff. So I gave them a lot of like posters on their walls, and I tried to make it feel like, you know, they were older. They're probably almost about to be a teenager. So maybe in their room they have a lot of furniture left over from when they were still like a younger child, but they've started to give away some of that and get some new furniture in that is, you know, older in styling, and definitely they're starting to transition into being a teenager. But I really enjoyed this room a lot because it's definitely a lot less busy than the other room in terms of the amount of items that it has on here. but I definitely liked it because I thought that it was like, oh, this child is maturing, and so they don't have a toy chest in their room. They don't have that kind of stuff anymore because they've grown up. And so I actually put 2 Jack and Jill style bathrooms in this one. So the teen shares the bathroom with the toddler, and then the 2 children share a bathroom with each other. But the 2 children's bathroom, which I don't show on camera, only has a stand-up shower. It does not have a bathtub, but I put a bathtub in this one because this is the one that is attached to the toddler's room. So you need a bathtub when you have a toddler. And this one is also blue. I just realized that I make all of my rooms blue. I really need to start doing different coloring when it comes to my rooms. But I had to make the bathroom bigger. At first, I had it only as a 2-tile wide bathroom, but I made it a 3-tile wide bathroom to help with the sizing issues when it came to the fact that I wanted to put in a tub. And so as you can see, the teen's bedroom is still blue, but it is a darker blue. It's more navy. And so I really like this, how this room turned out, because I thought, this teen is definitely probably almost about ready to go to college. So they're probably like 16, 17 years old. So, they're about ready to head off to university. And so I gave them this really cool cork board, and I put in all of these little postcards from different worlds from the rest of the Sims franchise. So it's like Appaloosa Plains and Pleasantville and all of those classic Sims 2 and Sims 3 worlds. And I really do like how this room turned out. And I love the rug that I picked. The rug is from Bowling Night Stuff, and I liked that black swatch. I just thought it was really cool to have that pattern. But now we are jumping around. So for the rest of the build, because that was pretty much like what I did on the stream, the rest of the build is probably a little bit more disparate, I would say. So I'm definitely going to be jumping around a lot more because the house was mainly finished when I restarted putting in the finishing touches. So I really just do kind of go into each room at different times, and I don't really stick to being in one room at a time, which is probably annoying for viewers, but it's the way that my brain works, because I was just working and being like, oh, I need to put in this and I need to put in that, and I wasn't really thinking about going strategically from room to room. I was really just going in and adding a lot of those smaller, finer details that you would want in your build to make it feel really lived in. And so the kitchen I love so much because I made this island circular, and I never make a circular island, but I had seen other people do it in their builds, and I really loved that effect of what a circular island did. And so it only has space for 3 Sims to sit there, but I thought it was really nice. I know it's technically, because of how big this family is, it's technically not an eating kitchen, but I just really loved the round island. And I do also love this little living room. I know the living room is pretty small for the size house that it is, but I think that the living room is just really cozy, and I love the green tones in it. And I wanted to make this front entranceway feel very welcoming and homey, so I put in a little accent table with some candles on it, and I put in that coat rack, and I put in a little mirror because I thought, before you leave out the door, you want to make sure that you look good, and so you check yourself in a mirror at your front door. So that's why I added in that mirror. And then like I said, I'm jumping around a lot. So now I'm back in the older child's room, and I'm putting in this little Funko Pop thing, and it was really cute because it honestly kind of reminds me of Amy Winehouse. So it looks like it's a pop singer icon. So I thought that they would be really into having a pop singer icon thing. And then in here in the kids room, I added in those cute little trees. I thought those were really pretty. And then I also was just moving around some of the furniture so I could add in some other things. I think that I went in and I added in different piles of laundry on the floor and everything. If they get in the way of your Sims, you can definitely remove them, but I kind of put them there just for the styling purposes, just to make this house feel more lived in. And I did something that I haven't done in a build before, but I've seen a lot of other people do, and that was where I took that dresser and I combined it with an ottoman so it looks like a changing table, and I really thought that was cool. And then in the teen's bedroom, I add in a little bit more clutter and decorations, like those projects were from Parenthood because they're robotics projects. And then I added in some more clutter, and I also put in the sugar skulls that you can get if you are in the Debug catalog, and those specifically came with the free holiday pack update. And I gave them a pride flag as well because it's still Pride Month. It is June 30th, so it's the last day of Pride Month, but you need a pride flag somewhere in your build, and I thought that that teen would definitely probably be wondering about their sexuality, and they might have friends who have come out, and so they're interested in either being an ally or learning more about their own sexuality and that kind of stuff. But now we're moving on to the backyard. The backyard, I actually really enjoy this backyard a lot. And now we're back into I told you this is going to be a very disparate ride, y'all. We're back into the grandparents' bedroom, and the grandparents' bedroom, I put in these pictures on the wall because I thought, these are like pictures of the grandkids or the pictures that the grandkids have made. And obviously those are not that, but if you're playing in this and you have your Sims sit down at that little kids craft corner table and start, crafting stuff, you can always take those and put those on the wall. But anyway, I went through the Debug catalog and found some different plants to put up here. So this is in Willow Creek, so I wanted it to really blend in with the surroundings. And so I went in and tried to find the different Willow Creek-esque plants and everything like that, so it looks close to its neighbors. But I put in these hanging baskets. I think one of my favorite things now to do in a build is to add in hanging baskets from the Debug catalog, because I just think a house looks so much more put together once you have those little finishing touches like hanging baskets. And I put here a chess table out front, and I also put on the other side, and I use those cats and dog rugs because I love the cats and dogs rugs. I put over here just a little space that you can sit down and talk, and I put another little plant there, and I also put in a little lamp so if you're out there at night you can see. And then I wanted to put up degrees on the wall in the study because I thought that these parents, they might have met like by going to Foxbury together or by going to Brightchester together. So I put up those degrees there. And so here I really thought that, this house, I love the house, but the front place just feels too big. So I actually expanded out the study area, and I added in that beam to kind of separate the living space from the hallway. And I think that just helped make the room feel overall like a better size, and just in general like fit better with like not feeling like you had a really weird large open space. And so expanding the study was actually good because I was able to add in more decorations for someone if they were a painter, that kind of stuff. But again, like I said, we're moving around a lot, and now we're working on this deck. So this deck is only accessible from the parents' room, but I just put out here a little lamp and a chair and that kind of stuff so that your Sims could just come out there and hang out, just get away from the kids. And then I am going through and adding a little more touches. I added in those little columns so that it would separate the space where the bricks were and everything, because it just felt kind of weird that there was transitioning from plank siding to brick. And then I add in this pool. The pool's not very big, but I think that for this family, like, you don't need a huge pool. And I added in a sand pit for the children. I thought that would be really fun that they would have a sand pit. I also realized when I was doing the rest of this build that you can now place these fences along along a foundation that's not the same height, and I was really excited for that because I didn't know that they fixed that in the update, because previously I had tried to do that but it didn't let me because the system was broken. But now it's fixed, and that made me so happy. I was like, yay, I can finally put fences of different like foundation heights together, and that just makes it so much easier when it comes to being able to build proper fences that come out from your house. But anyway, I really thought that the little area where the kids could play in the pool was really cute, and also where there was a little kiddie pool so your toddler can come out and play. And I actually realized, like, I put in one of those like little blocks table, but I also realized there was a blocks table as well on the back deck. So you have two blocks tables in this house. So like if you had like a play date or something, your toddlers could be playing on one blocks thing, and then the other towel they could be pulling on another one. And I totally didn't think about that. And I also put in a swing in the backyard because I love putting swings in. And I put in that little clothesline. And even though I don't have laundry day, I like to add in like those little touches. But we are getting near to the end of the video. Please make sure that you hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. Also, hit that like button to let us know that you've liked this video, but we're moving into the screen.